5 money goals to achieve in your 30s. This is super important. If you want to achieve as well and you're in your 20s, this is also an equivalent video. I honestly think it should be your 20s and 30s, but I also understand that some people don't have that hustle and bustle that you might have in your 30s when you're starting to realize, oh my God, the world is coming down on me. But the short answer is, these are the 5 things that if you want to have success in life, full stop, you have to do these 5 things. And in this video, you will walk away with a actionable, these are the 5 things that I need to do or achieve. And if you're achieving them, you're crushing it, but you must leave your 30s. And honestly, I truly believe you must leave your 20s with these things, but I just know that most people can't do that. So, and it's not that they can't do it, they don't want to do it, or they don't want it bad enough to do it. But in your 30s, you start to realize, oh God, I'm never going to retire. I'm going to have a heart attack on the Walmart floor when I'm in my 70s working. I'm never going to see my family again. I'm going to be poor. I can't do the things that I want to do. And the lifestyle that my parents have right now, I'll never be able to relive in my entire life. Those things get to be realized, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm in the hole. What do I do? Well, these are the 5 things that you need to do. So let's get into it. And actually, before we get into it, right below me, like right below my face, is this little button that says subscribe. If you click on it, it's absolutely free. It's just about the only free thing that you can do in this world. And I will go one step further. You might actually get exposed to something from this channel that will help you get out of debt, make more money, be entrepreneurial, retire, be better at personal finance, something along those lines. And you might actually have positive returns for doing this free thing, which is just clicking subscribe. It also helps me grow the channel, so I would really appreciate it. First one is really easy, a $250,000 net worth. Now, this is averaged over the entire United States. If you live in a high cost of living area, that number needs to be higher. This is pretty much for those people that live in that like low to medium cost area, but generally, no matter where you are, even if you're in a high cost of living area, if you have a net worth of $250,000, which means this is positive liquid cash or money in a mortgage that's positive if you sold your house, you can always leave a high cost of living area if you really needed to. So a $250,000 net worth leaving your 30s is really radically important. I should also say, this is the bare minimum, right? I honestly believe, and math would say, that if we want to retire, you got to finish your 20s with 250 grand, but I'm just looking at the data for the average American when I'm making this video, and most of you guys are going to struggle to get 250K by the end of your 30s, but we're talking about a $250,000 net worth, and you should be exposed to some real estate there, but we'll talk about that later. Minimum net worth, $250,000. Next, absolutely no credit card debt. You should never have credit card debt in the first place, but 30 comes around, get rid of credit card debt. If you have credit card debt right now, no matter what age you are, get rid of it. No credit card debt. This is easy, full stop. You'll never be able to out-invest credit card debt. You'll never be able to get out of like the looming interest rate that credit card debt has. It is killing you. If you have credit card debt, it's killing you. You should rice and beans until you get rid of credit card debt. And if you're like, that's extreme, you'll thank me after you do it. 50 years from now, not even that far, 10 years from now, you're gonna be like, oh, that guy on YouTube, I'm glad I ate rice and beans for 3 to 5 months to get out of my credit card debt, or whatever it is. You're gonna thank me later, and I'll shake your hand when that time comes. Not having a car note. Yeah, this is a hard pill to swallow. We live in this environment where people love cars. Look, I'm a car guy or a car person or whatever you want to call it. I love sports cars. I drive fast cars, I tune them, I modify them. I do lots of things with cars. I absolutely love them. Spend a lot of money on my cars, but it's a passion and hobby. So I'm a little bit of a hypocrite here, but I don't owe any money on my cars. And neither should you. Car debt sucks. You can't invest, you can't save, you can't retire. Eventually, you'll be in a place where you can follow the money guys or whatever it is, and you can buy a car and safely use an automotive loan to get a vehicle and it not really affect you, right? But if you're average, meaning, well, actually, not even if you're average. If you don't have a $250,000 net worth and you have credit cards, absolutely no car debt. I'll go one step further. If you have any debt that's not a mortgage, don't even think about a car loan. Cash car, or you cannot afford it. One step further, no more student loans. Yeah, I know that you can have forever to pay them off and the interest rate's low and it's a return on investment of education. Get rid of them. Rice and beans, get rid of them. It doesn't make any sense to have them, right? You're hurting yourself, right? The best time to invest your money is when you're in your teens and your 20s. You're older than 30 now, most of you guys watching this video, because that's why you clicked on it. You should have been investing before. You're never gonna be able to out-invest debt. Even if it's a lower interest rate, it changes your entire psychology about what you're doing. You will spend differently. The data tells everyone I'm right. I don't care what you think, right? Data says you're wrong and I'm right, statistically speaking. You can see the trend here. It's all about positive net worth and nothing dragging that down. No more student loans. Cut out the stuff you can't afford and pay down your student loans. There's no argument that you can make with me that says, oh, I can go afford Starbucks if you have student loans. You owe someone money. You can't afford that coffee, right? Honestly, right? If you have debt, you can't, that isn't a house or a living situation, right? You can't really afford to do other things. You can't splurge, you can't do anything else, you can't buy something out of convenience because you still owe someone money, right? Something to be said there. And here's the most important thing. You need to iron out your career path. And that's the scariest thing that you're gonna hear in this video, and probably the scariest thing that you're gonna hear today, or maybe this week, or maybe next month. And if that isn't scary to you, you need to reassess your entire life, because in your 30s, you've kind of passed the window, unless you're really crushing, to explore what you wanna do. This is where you need to put your time in and have returns on your income, right? A few of us have been able to spend our 20s putting the hard work in, which means later in life, we'll be able to explore different career paths and have the freedom to choose what we want to do, what drives passion. And, you know, knock on wood, hopefully I'll be able to do that because I've put in the hard work to be able to be in a position where I can make career changes, right? I'm making a career change right now because I'm interested in making a change. And, you know, it's easier for me to do that because I've built up savings and I have fail safes and all these things that'll allow me to live through that, right? But if you don't have savings and you don't have everything else that we've checked off on this list, you need to focus on hunkering down and progressing your career, right? Because you're gonna make all these assumptions in your life that I'm gonna be able to retire. I have time. I have all this. Oh, that person doesn't have it either, so why does it matter if I do? I don't care about the people that you surround yourself with. If you don't have enough money to retire, you're gonna work until you die. This isn't a touchy-feely thing, right? You don't just get to retire when you're 65. You have to have made enough money to be able to do that. Hard stop, right? Like mic drop, whatever you wanna say. If you don't have enough money to retire, you don't get to do it. And for the average American just sitting right now that is under the age of 40, statistically speaking, you probably won't retire, or your retirement will look fractured. It won't look like the way your parents and grandparents' retirements looked like. You're still gonna be working. You might be part-time. You're gonna have to figure out how to pay for health insurance. Probably the scariest part is you might get something like cancer and literally die because you can't afford to treat it. And that should be scary. And you're gonna be like, the system won't allow that to happen. It happens all the time. It happens every day right now, and it's happening to an age group that was privileged going into retirement. The age group that had a wealth transfer during COVID going into retirement, right? They statistically have more money than we're gonna have in our life, proportional to their earnings and their spending power. Hunkering down your career and having a growth path, even if it's something you don't love doing, but it translates into money, will buy you happiness, freedom, the ability to retire, health, wellness, family, everything. And if you do it well enough in your 30s, by the time you're maybe 40 or 45, you'll have ironed out that career, progressed in whatever you're doing, earned enough money that you can step back and do something differently. Great example, I'm an engineer, I'm a mechanical engineer. I don't like engineering, but it's provided me this opportunity to then have the freedom to choose a career path that I wanted, right? I spent 8 years of my life doing something I just didn't like doing. Prove me wrong that this is bad advice, go spend that 8 years, have the financial success that will come from that, and change, and think back to this video, maybe YouTube won't be around, and you're gonna be like, I'm glad I watched that video and did it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.